Ghostline Entertainment. I'm Sal Capaccio. We're here at Danny South Restaurant. Every Monday night we come here and we tape this show, so we hope you come down, say hi to us, enjoy the fabulous food, the entertainment, the servers, and a great time talking Buffalo Bills football as we do every single week with our special guest, A.J. Tarpley, linebacker for the Buffalo Bills. All right, AJ, well, we'll get to our special guest here in 1 second, but we want to get this one out of our mind as quickly as possible. I know you have a 24-hour rule, but we got to talk about it for a little while. How quickly and how hard is it to get over a loss like that to the Giants yesterday, 24-10?
It's tough, especially when you have a lot of mistakes in the game. We felt like we had our chances to win, but it's something that we'll have to learn from. The leaders of this team, the coaches of this team, they're going to right the ship, and we'll get back on track.
Well, you guys weren't on track for a while there yesterday, but a big hit by one of your teammates really started to light a spark into that bench, and he's our special guest. I'll let you introduce him.
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Brooks. He's a DB for us, plays nickel, also corner, and also all the special teams. So he's a spark plug for us, a guy that brings it every time, and he'll hit you. Ron
Brooks of LSU, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Before I do anything, I want to know, where is your little thing that you ride around on all the time? What is that thing called?
Just call it a level board.
A level board. That thing is cool, man. You ride everywhere on that thing. How did you start doing that? Did you just see this one day in the store and say, I want to do that thing? How did that start?
A popular internet website that I go to. Went on there, saw it on the website, and went on to the website and started looking around and trying to shop for different boards, and ended up getting all 3 different types and learning how to ride.
So. The real question is, will you be able to ride that in the snow? That's the real question. I don't know.
My off-road board probably will.
Oh, there you go. They would do that. But anyway, if you see Ron around, he's always riding that thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's at the stadium, wherever we go. We're at training camp. You're always in the parking lot.
Of course.
Pretty cool. All right, so we'll talk with you about what happened yesterday. Obviously, 24-10, not the result you guys wanted. Lots of penalties. That's been the theme today. Ron. Monday I do radio, TV. Everybody wants to talk about the penalties. What can you guys do to correct those penalties and everything that went down on Sunday?
I think just as a team, just keeping our poise, just being level-headed in those situations, not allowing our opponents or any other people outside of the team get to us and frustrate us enough to where we feel like we have to react to those things that are going on the field. We take those things and use it towards our play and let our play speak for us.
Now, AJ, when things are going like that and you start to get frustrated, how hard is it when you're so amped up and you have that emotion and that adrenaline to really dial it back? Because you want to play the game with such controlled aggression, but that's the word controlled, I guess, you have to really use.
Yeah, it's tough, and I don't know if hold it back's the right term. I think Coach Ryan just wants us to channel it in the right direction.
Right.
You never want to hold back your emotions in the game of football. You just want to direct them towards the right spots. That's between the whistles. You don't want to do anything late, don't want anything dirty, anything like that. And so I wouldn't say it's tough, but it's just more of, we got to figure out that direction for us, each as individuals, as a group, and everything.
Now, Coach Ryan, today during his press conference and yesterday in the locker room, Kyle Williams, Corey Graham mentioned that, hey, it might be a reputation thing. When we start doing things wrong, officials aren't going to give us the benefit of the doubt. Is that something you guys talk about to say, hey, we got to be at our best behavior because right now we're getting a little bit of a reputation around the league and we got to make sure that stops?
I'm not sure if that's what we, exclusively say, but we want to focus on ourselves. And that comes, with penalties, with our play, with mistakes. It's about us because we feel we have the talent, on this team. We have guys like Brooks, guys like Kyle Williams, like you said, everybody, all these veterans and all this talent. It's about us. And if we play the way we can play, then we can beat anybody.
24-10 yesterday, not the way you guys wanted things to go, but a nice comeback again. It shows a lot about this team. Rex said how proud he was of you guys to keep fighting around. What does it say in your 2 losses that you guys were down and came back?
Just the will of this team, the willingness of each man to go beyond normal duties of anyone else. They put it on the line for each other, not just the name that we put on the back of our jerseys, but we do it for that emblem that's on the side of our helmets and on our jerseys, and we wear that proudly. We represent Western New York, and we want to represent Western New York proudly, and by doing those right things on the field.
All right, well, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We're going to learn a little bit more tonight about our guest, Ron Brooks. He's got some bloodlines through the NFL as well. I learned about that tonight, so he'll tell us about that. And we'll talk just a tad bit more about the Giants game yesterday and the great job the DBs did on those excellent wide receivers for the Giants. When we come back here on Out of Bounds at Danny South Restaurant.
Out of Bounds is brought to you by Diamond Cutters of Western New York. Buy where the pros buy. Buy direct from the Diamond Cutter. Excura Salon and Spa, the finest in traditional and modern techniques. Savor the experience. Bova Family Chiropractic, 1953 Ridge Road in Waseneca. Feel the healing hands. Stumps Gymnastics Center, 2187 Worley Drive in Williamsville. And by Flixtures on the web at www.etsy.com/shop/fixtures. By Buffalo Battleground Airsoft Arena and Store, providing birthday parties, walk-on play, and gaming 5 days a week. And by Wall Performing Arts Studios. Dance, act, sing, learn from the best.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds, presented by Ghostline Entertainment. Got a great crowd on hand tonight, once again, at Danny's South Restaurant, 4300 Abbott Road here, right across from the stadium. Come on down, watch all the games, Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and of course, if you're not going to the game, you still come down here and tailgate at Danny's lot. Have a great time, enjoy some world-famous chicken wing soup. Bills lose 24-10 to the New York Giants. They are now 2-2 on the season. Got the Tennessee Titans coming up next week. But coming into this game, lots of focus on the terrific wide receivers of the New York Giants, especially Odell Beckham Jr. They were missing Victor Cruz, but man, you guys in the secondary round did a fantastic job on them. Only 5 catches for Odell, 38 yards. His longest catch was 9 yards. I mean, what was the key for you guys and how you defended those guys?
We really focused on each man trying to do his job and not trying to do more than what was asked of him. If you had to cover someone, we made sure in the secondary you had to cover them, linebackers down to the D-line. If you had an assignment, we were trying to make sure that everyone did what they were supposed to do and not have to step outside and try to do more than what was asked. And for the most part, I think during the game we did that, with the exception of probably boiling over with our emotions on the field. With that exception, I think we did a pretty good job of playing defense.
You did. Second half especially, AJ, changed around a lot. I mean, aside from the 51-yard play, I mean, that was a broken play and it happened. But other than that, I think they had like 50 yards of offense in the second half. It was crazy. Were there any adjustments made at halftime specifically? You don't have to get into the X's and O's of it, but did you guys adjust the scheme, or was it just you just played better?
Yeah, there was nothing big. There was no big adjustments. I think everyone just kind of settled down and played better. Like we are, we're an emotional team, and as long as we channel those things directly, sometimes at half you're going to come down, settle down, you're in the flow of the game and things like that. So we did improve, but there was no big changes. There's no secret. It was just us playing better. The
offense didn't get going until the second half. It was kind of a tale of two halves for both of you guys. You guys had the better second half when you came out there and stopped them. The offense, second half they came alive a little bit as well. What can you say to the offensive players, Tyrod or Percy, whoever, when they come off the field as a defender? What can you do to kind of keep them going when they're going 3 and out the first few series?
I think we're lucky to have veterans on this team and also leaders and everybody, in that, we don't necessarily need to say anything to them. It's more just, they know that we're supporting them, they're supporting us, and the more we can feed off each other, the better. It seemed like it was we had our moments, but no long-term success in terms of offense, defense. It seemed like everything kind of broke into parts.
Now, next week you guys go to Tennessee. It'll be a chance to get back on track at 3-2. I got to ask you, Ron, how much? It seems to me like playing at home, I know you love the home crowd, but does it actually affect your or your communication in the secondary and on defense? Because it seemed like on the road it might have been a little easier in Miami because the crowd is a little lighter. Is that actually, I'm not saying the crowd should be less loud at home, but does that hurt you guys sometimes? You're trying to get those communications going?
No, we work on those types of situations during the week, and we do a pretty good job of handling that during the week with playing crowd noises at practice and simulating crowd noise and being able to get through those types of situations.
And obviously you love the crowd noise because it hurts the other team, right?
Always.
But what about going on the road just as bonding? Can going on the road help a team kind of come together? I thought in Miami you guys did a great job of doing that after that loss to New England, AJ.
There's pros and cons to everything. Obviously when our crowd's into it, we're going to rely on different set of communication, whether it's hand signals or certain things or whatnot. And on the road, obviously it's going to be quiet. We're on defense and we can do things differently. But, there's pros and cons to everything. It's just adjusting to each different style.
Now, do you expect teams to continue to do the hurry up and no huddle against you guys? Because that's kind of what Eli and Brady did, and it was a little successful in certain parts, and it wasn't always. Do you expect that to happen maybe going forward, that you have to be ready to get up on the ball really quickly because that's what teams have been doing against you now?
I wouldn't say, we're going to expect that exclusively. I know every team, this is the NFL. Every team has their game plan, and they're going to try and stick to that. It's all about imposing your team's game plan on the other team rather than, trying to expose certain things about us. So I think we're going to continue to adjust, and so will other offenses. We're certainly not going to do anything out of the ordinary, anything out of the box. We're going to stick to our guns, stick to our plays and stick to our coaches and do what we need to do.
All right, well, enough of the New York Giants game. What's behind us now? Your 24-hour rule is done. You don't have to talk about that anymore. We will focus on the Tennessee Titans and on this man right here, Ron Brooks. He is our special guest tonight. Let's learn about him when we come back on Out of Bounds. Every week, AJ, you guys see us in the locker room running around. We got a guy in there. It's our guy.
We do, and we're going to take you guys right there right now. We got Vic Ace Vito in the locker room.
Offsides or holding, anytime the ref throws a penalty out there, everybody has to drop down. Everybody that's part of the organization has to drop down and do 10 push-ups. But the person who committed the foul actually has to stand up and watch everybody around do push-ups. And it's so you can see how many people that you're letting down when you can commit the silly penalties that we do.
We're 4 games into the season. I think we're going to continue to evolve. I think the good teams that you've seen over my career, they're teams that continue to evolve through the year. Their communication gets better. Their understanding what they're supposed to be doing gets better and better and better.
Well, Billy is a guy that obviously has a history in this league, been with probably every team in the league. I mean, that's typical kicker resume. But he does have a strong leg, so he can handle kickoffs.
My job is really simple. Just try to get touchbacks. I feel like kickoffs is something I've been good at in my career. It's something I feel very comfortable with. And then just try to help Dan out any way I possibly can and to make sure that we make a positive difference in the games.
We picked up the kid that Sanjay's had, the Moore kid from Tennessee, to give us maybe a little spark on the return game. This guy had a huge breakout rookie year. He'll handle our punt return duties.
Depth chart, so to speak, for running backs right now is Sierra Wood, kind of the main guy, would be Booby, assuming LaShawn doesn't play.
No, I would say Booby would be the main guy.
Oh, man, I'm beyond excited. I'm just trying to make sure I prepare. It's starting practice. Make sure I prepare during practice. Make sure I have a great week of practice. And then, we'll get to Sunday soon.
And obviously, the running back, Heron, has been in a similar system to what we run here with Indianapolis. Obviously, Pep Hamilton and Greg Roman coach together. So I think some of the terminology is the same, and that's good because we may very well need him to play this week.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds here at Danny South Restaurant. We want to thank Meridia FCU. If your bills make you want to shout, it's time to go beyond your bank and make the move to your hometown credit union, Meridia Community Credit Union. I also want to thank Excurious Salon and Spa and Diamond Cutters of Western New York. They've been with us here on Out of Bounds for several years, and we always thank their loyal support every year here on Out of Bounds. Ron Brooks, our special guest, went to LSU. We'll get to your college career in a minute, but man, I am stunned. Look at these numbers in high school. You were a wide receiver, I guess, your junior year, and then a quarterback your senior year. That's the way this reads, right? Is that how that worked? Mm-hmm. All right. Junior year in high school, get this. Caught 43 passes for 778 yards and 13 touchdowns as a junior. Senior year, moved to quarterback. You run for 1,264 yards and 19 touchdowns and threw for another 882 yards and 9 touchdowns at MacArthur's High School. How crazy is that? That's amazing, right? Good job. That's amazing. But tell me a little bit about that. I mean, what was the thought process of, going from receiver to quarterback? Did your coach come to you and say something? Did you lose a senior quarterback? How did that all go down?
No, my older cousin, Dwayne Brooks, he's actually playing in the AFL right now. He was actually our quarterback when I was a junior. And I had also another quarterback that was in front of me, Matt Perkle. They were both seniors. So I had 2 seniors in front of me. And coach thought I was one of the better athletes on the team, I guess. So you got to find a way to put your athletes on the field.
And you played defense too, right?
No.
You did not?
No,
Come on, that's amazing.
Never played high school defense.
Wow, here in the NFL, a cornerback in the NFL, you didn't play defense in high school. Now, so when you went to LSU, did they move you right to the defensive side? How did that happen?
No, I went there as an athlete, learned offense, was learning offense. Then they got the idea to try me out at corner, started going back and forth between the both, and then just ended up staying at defense. That's pretty cool. One of the things I always hear from people, AJ, when they come into this league, I always ask them, what's the biggest difference? One of the common themes is everybody's such a great athlete. Like, when you go to college, yeah, you get great athletes, but there's a lot of guys there that, they weren't
the best high school player in the world. They were just, maybe they had the size, they got recruited, but here at the NFL level, everybody's such a good athlete. I mean, his LSU partner, Kyle Williams, is one of the best athletes on the team, and look at his size. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's something spectacular, and that's what the NFL is. You know, you take the best of the best and the cream of the crop, and you kind of divide it up next level, and until you get to the NFL, and everybody's, bigger, faster, stronger, and you can really look at, you look at guys like Brooks, who he hasn't played defense, but I think, that skill set that he had in high school, he had throughout his youth, throughout college, that's what enables him to play at the level he does, whether it's, being able to block a D end or a linebacker, or be able to run by wide receivers and destroy punt returners. So I think it's the collective things that makes everybody great and makes everybody get to this level. One
of the things both you guys do is play special teams. What is Danny Crossman like coaching you during the week? Come on, try to keep it clean here. I'll let
the veteran take the lead.
He seemed pretty crazy, but in a good way, Ron.
Yeah, Coach Crossman is definitely a colorful character, to say the least, but definitely means well, and he's always. He might be a little bit intense during the week because he wants us to learn our assignments and things like that. But when it comes to Sunday, for the most part, he pretty much just lets us play because he knows his players are going to show up on Sundays.
And tell me a little bit about Donnie Henderson, your position coach, and what's it like playing for him?
Donnie Henderson is a tremendous coach, has a great reputation for himself throughout the league since he's gotten into the league and coaching. Been fortunate enough to be under him for my 3 years after my rookie year. He came in, and I learned a lot of stuff from Donnie, and been able to take things that he's taught me and apply them to my game and try to make myself a better corner.
I think what happens is people don't realize too, AJ, that you guys, you deal with Rex, but really your position coach is the guy you deal with all the time, right?
Oh yeah, and I think the coaches do a great job of being together on things, being on the same page.
Yep.
Our whole coaching staff. Yeah, definitely. We're in the same meeting rooms. It varies by day, it varies by what we're watching on film, but we start off usually every day. The whole defense is in there together. We want to watch the team periods together. That way, everyone's hearing each other's feedback. Whether you're going to know what the D lineman is supposed to do, or what he did wrong, or what he did right. How we can adjust that as linebackers, how we're communicating with the defensive backs, and everything. In totality.
Well, it's important to have that. You have veteran staff here, and they've been together a while. That's what helps. Some of them were at the Jets together. I mean, Rex and Donnie go back to Baltimore together with a couple other guys, so they've been together. All right, one more final segment coming up. So we'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back here, and we'll ask these guys about facing a rookie quarterback. You go from Eli, who won 2 Super Bowls, to Marcus Mariota. I think they can't wait to get out there and get back after it on Sunday. We'll find out when we come back on Out of Bounds.
Out of Bounds is brought to you by Diamond Cutters of Western New York. Buy where the pros buy direct from the Diamond Cutter. Excurus Salon and Spa, the finest in traditional and modern techniques. Savor the experience. Bova Family Chiropractic, 1953 Ridge Road in Waseneca. Feel the healing hands. Stumps Gymnastics Center, 2187 Worley Drive in Williamsville. And by Flixtures on the web at www.etsy.com/shop/fixtures. By Buffalo Battleground Airsoft Arena and Store, providing birthday parties, walk-on play, and gaming 5 days a week. And by Wall Performing Arts Studios. Dance, act, sing, learn from the best.
One final segment here on Out of Bounds, presented by Ghostline Entertainment. 4300 Abbott Road, that's where Danny South Restaurant is. Come on down. Ron, you're involved in a really important campaign this month. We all know about the Believe campaign, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Domestic Violence Awareness. Tell us about it and what you're doing.
Right. This month is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I've had the fortunate pleasure to work with the Haven House, and Thursday, the 8th, they're going to be turning the purple's fall.
Awesome.
The fall is purple.
That's all right, I got you.
No, a little bit dyslexic.
That's all right. So we got pink for breast cancer awareness, purple for domestic violence awareness, right? It's great that you're involved with this. How did you get involved with all this?
I actually was talking with my agency, Sports Trust Agency in Georgia, and they thought it would be a cool idea for me to be able to give back in a different kind of way. I like to do the Play 60 events. I usually do those and work with the children, but I wanted to reach out and do something else that I felt was a concerning subject for me. And I've had a lot of recent dealings with domestic violence with people back at home. So,
well, that's good for you, because I'm going to tell you something. Every day on the TV, as you know, we hear about all these horrible things that are happening, athletes, and all, that's the stories that lead. But you doing something like that, those are the stories that we should be talking about more. So good for you, man. That's really good for you that you're doing that. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm sure you get a lot of that character from your mom and dad. Your dad played in the NFL.
Yeah, my dad, Anthony Brooks, he was actually a DB who turned into a wide receiver. And
Oh, wow,
I was a
the other way
wide receiver
around.
that turned into a DB. So we have like stories.
He played for the Bears, right?
Yeah, my dad, he actually knew Coach Weinstead.
Yeah.
He was there with Weinstead.
That's
Was
right.
in Chicago. So
That's crazy.
He knew him from then and was able to take some things learn from my dad a little bit with his experience in the NFL and was able to apply it.
Now, did your dad, was he a hardcore football dad? Did he say, come on, play football, or kind of let you go your own path?
No, not at all. I was always an active kid. My parents always thought I was just a hyper kid. I have ADD. So that's
Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
That's kind of where that came from. But as a kid, I was always running, always with a ball in my hand. And my parents and my godmom and everybody, aunts and uncles, everybody played sports with me. So was able to always be around sports.
That's very cool. And hey, don't worry about that. I think I'm the same way. That's all I'm doing. I'm always outside and
Right.
playing and stuff like that, and grew up that way. A lot of people talk about those things and playing football and their kids, and numbers are down, AJ. You're going to be a dad someday, and you're going to have children and kids you work with and things like that. What do you think about the future of the sport, and are you okay with youngsters playing it and tackle football?
Yeah, it's a tough subject. I mean, there's things to look at on both sides. Myself personally, I feel like I've educated myself, as much as I can currently. And, I think football will continue to grow. People love the sport. People are continuing to do dangerous things.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while for them to get extensive research. I think continued research on the brain and what can lead to what in terms of the impacts. But football is a game that it's done so much for me. I know I put my body at risk, but it's given me things, it's given me life lessons that I can't give back, and they can't put a price on.
I agree with you. I think it's a great game in that regard. All right, next week, you guys, down in Tennessee, taking on our former co-host, Denoris Searcy, and the Tennessee Titans. That'll be fun to see Denoris out there again. I'm sure you're looking forward to it. But Marcus Mariota's the guy you got to deal with. Rookie quarterback. He's going to have 14 days to get ready for your defense. They've had the bye week. It's weird how that happens all the time. But what do you know about him? You've seen him on film a little bit, and what do you think about facing that defense, or that offense?
Haven't really seen the film on him. I've actually just seen him just from some glimpses on ESPN, flipping through the channels.
You saw him in college a little bit, though, right?
A little bit. I've seen what he can do, and he's a very good quarterback, but he's also a young quarterback. And him being a young quarterback, we hope we can force him into some mistakes. But he's a very athletic, very sharp, intelligent quarterback to be as young as he is, and we're just hoping that we can get out there and confuse him and go out there and make plays as a defense.
This guy played against him in college all 4 years, right? 3 years?
3, yeah.
3 years. So the last 3 years, this will be your 4th year in a row playing Marcus Mariota, man.
Correct.
Just tell us about him.
I mean, he's an elite athlete. Anytime you have a quarterback that can run, at that level, at that speed, you have to be aware of that. But I think he wants to stay in the pocket. He wants to turn into a pocket passer as well. I was able to train with him actually for the combine for Pro Day down in San Diego. So I got to know Marcus as a person. He's a good guy. But I think Coach Ryan, the staff and the veterans, like I said, the leaders, we're ready to get to the next game. We want to prove something. We want to prove something to ourselves, prove something to everybody else that we're ready to play. And they have to play for us.
And I think you guys will do just that. Ron, thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate you joining the show. AJ, as always, all right, Monday night we'll be back here out of bounds at Danny South Restaurant. Come on down and join us. Thanks for tuning in tonight.